Hello, folks. Welcome back to my top 100 board games in 2022. I realize my shirt looks very aggressive when you just see the top, so I want to address this right away. Yes, it says get lost, and then it says like make new trails or something. So I'm not just telling you to get lost the whole video. Anyway, we are into the top 40. Sorry these videos have been taking me a while to get to, but I'm really happy to share these 10 with you. And out of these 10, 5 of them are new to the top 100, so they were not on the list the last time I did this about a year and a half ago. Without any further ado, let us get to number 40, which is Mariposas, which is new to the list, and this is a board game about butterflies designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, who is the same designer as Wingspan, a very, very popular game. In this game, also, yes, the theme is butterflies. Yes, I don't like butterflies. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I hadn't punched my copy yet. I gotta give this to Amy because she loves to punch new board games. I have played it before though because I played my friend Nikki's copy. In this game, nice big board, you are going from Mexico with your butterflies up to the US to score points, and then back down to Mexico to score more points. So it follows the migration of the monarch butterflies. It's a little bit messy of a board. This is a great game though. I definitely want to play it again at some time soon. But it is, yeah, it's hard to explain because it's not what you might think. You are moving your butterflies around. You're choosing when to reproduce. You're choosing to satisfy these scoring conditions. And it all relates into just a very kind of interesting package. So that is number 40, Mariposas. Moving on to number 39. Number 39 was 41 last year, so it's about the same. And this is my wife's favorite game. This is Root. Root is this game with these cute little woodland animals that is extremely brutal. And it's just all about you waging war against each other. And every one of the factions is very different. So asymmetric factions is one of the main parts of this game. The base game came with 4 factions. You can see them here on the back of the box. We've just got the 3rd expansion of the major expansions, which adds in 2 more factions. So now we have 10 total factions that we can play with. The new expansion also adds these minor factions in here, which I'm going to show you some of them. So these little guys, look, that's a little badger with a hood and a key. Isn't that cute? And these are called hirelings. These are minor factions. There's a porcupine. Here's some dude playing his flute. That's pretty awesome. This giant stag. That's pretty great. And then a bunch of Riverfolk Company guys with like bandanas on. So they're like smugglers or something. Really cool. Root takes a while. The learning curve is steep. It's a game that I would probably enjoy more if I wasn't usually running the game and trying to make sure that everyone was playing correctly. But I love it nonetheless, even when I am teaching the game, even when I'm making sure that everyone else is doing what they're supposed to. Great game, but only if you like high conflict. And if you might hear in the background, Domino is throwing one of his nightly fits. He likes to do that for fun. Number 38 is not on the list, or was not on the list last time. It's new to the list, and I also don't own this game. It's called Khôra: Rise of an Empire. The game is themed over like ancient Grecian city-states, and it's essentially tracks the board game. I love tracks in games. You choose to go up certain tracks, gives you certain benefits. Fantastic. There's a little bit of dice rolling in this game. There's some card drafting, card play, and whatnot. It takes a little while to get used to. I'm also not sure that it's balanced because I've ran into some combos that are like, this is way too good. But maybe it's just try not to let other people get those combos. I don't know. Definitely want to play it some more. I think so. I played this for the first time at Origins last year, and then my friend Mark bought it, and he and I and Jonathan have played it. And there was one day where we played it, I think 3 times or something like that. Great game. That is Khôra: Rise of an Empire. Number 37 was 53 last year, and for some reason when I did my like top 10 games not on my list, I thought this wasn't on there, and it was. I didn't own it last time though, and this is The Castles of Burgundy. So shout out to my friend Nikki who has these giveaways at her game day sometimes, and this was some sort of like Christmas swap of games, and you bring some games, and like it was like Robber Bingo or something like that, or White Elephant. And somehow I got one of the best games of all time. Castles of Burgundy is by Stefan Feld, who's a very well-known board game designer. His thing is point salad, in that every single thing you do gives you points. Some things gives you more points. I always forget there's a really nice thing in here. I think this was Jen and Brad's before. Shout out to Jen and Brad for clearly taking good care of their board games. In this game, now I don't know how much I can show it of you because I clearly need to play my own copy here. But you have this main board where you're drafting all these tiles from, and then you're placing it on your own personal board and filling in this hexagon with all these little mini hexagons, and each one you place down gives you a certain action, and everything gives you points, but some things gives you more points or additional actions or things like that. So it's very much a game of marginal utility. What will give you, 4 points as opposed to 3 this turn. But I don't think that's a bad thing. That is something I really enjoy, and like looks a little bit drab, but the fact that like this is the base board and then everyone also has the option to play a cooler board, really fun. Lots of different strategies you can get into in this game. Another game I wish I played more often, that is Castles of Burgundy. Moving on, what are we on now? We are on number 36, which was 18 last year, so it has fallen by a bit, but I still do really like it. And that is Splendor. Splendor is one of the easier games in my top 50, what I would call a welcoming game. And in this game, you're getting these lovely poker chips gems. There's some theme about being like gem dealers or something. It doesn't really come across. And then you're buying these cards with these gems. When you buy a card, though, it adds to your economy. So the next time I go to buy a card that costs something in white, if I already have this one, then for example, watch me not give an example now. This card would cost only 4 white chips instead of the 5 that it usually does because I already have this in my thing. So this is building an economy at its most simple. It can be very thinky. If you play a 2-player game, it can be very cutthroat. Even at 3 or 4, it can be cutthroat depending on who you play with. That's Splendor. This game, for some reason, people don't talk about that much anymore. This is really up there, in my opinion, as one of the best welcoming games. That was 36. Number 35 is new to the list, and this is a game called Kitara. Now, Kitara is a combat game for 2 to 4 people. I haven't played with 2 yet. I don't know that I would, but I guess I would give it a try and see. It is a very, very tight game. This is the 2-player board. There's a bigger one when you're playing with 3 or 4 people. Domino is unhappy about something. But in this game, you have your little guys who are, by the way, like African mythology themed. So this guy's like riding a lion. Oh, all the factions have these like centaurs that are like cheetah centaurs with afros. Here's one of those pictures. These are like a very cool piece. I don't know. And you are getting these cards that allow you to do different things. So on your you get a tableau worth of cards, and then you do all of your actions. You do all of your actions, you conquer various things, you try to take certain territories, like your cheetah centaurs want to be in the woods, your big dudes want to conquer everybody else, and you want to just take as many territories as you can. But if someone else conquers you, you don't lose any guys. And that means you can come right back your next turn and do a bunch of conquering yourself, which makes it very fast. Oh, here's a picture of a cheetah centaur with an afro. They're pretty great. Makes it super fast. I'm actually very interested to play a couple of this designer's other games. Eric B. Vogel. He has one that just came out called First Empires that I really want to try. And then there's another one called Hibernia that I'm buying used at Origins in about a month here. So super excited to try it out. Great way to do combat. That is Kitara. Number 34 was 28 last year. This one is extremely hard to classify. I'm not going to talk that much about it. This is Magic the Gathering. This is a collectible card game. It is, in fact, the collectible card game. So here's just a few cards. The reason I had these ones available here in these nice little green sleeves is because I'm going to be using them for, see, these are all super cheap cards. I'm going to be using them for prototyping some of my games because the sleeves are nice and the cards are super cheap. Magic the Gathering is a money pit. It is a lifestyle game, meaning that this is, for a lot of people, the only game that they play is Magic the Gathering. It is a game that is better when you're playing it very often, and it's a game where the format that I like to play is limited, specifically draft, which requires 8 people, and that you open new product. You can do cubes. I have cubes as well. Regardless, this game, this design is amazing. I just don't play it that much anymore because it requires so much of an effort to play. You know, I can sit down and play guitar in an hour and a half. If I really want to get into Magic, I need to spend hours preparing to play Magic. So, oh, here comes the rain again. I thought I got in between the two, but here it comes again. Number 33, I don't own. It is new to the list, and that is the game On Tour. On Tour is a game where the theme is like you're a band and you're trying to do the best tour possible and visit as many states as you can. In reality, it's kind of an abstract game where you're rolling some dice and then everyone is marking down numbers and trying to get the best continuous loop of numbers. This game's fantastic, plays well up to 8, would play, I mean, honestly, you could play like 80, 100 with it, but you would need the boards for it. I don't own it, but I will soon because I'm going to be working with BoardGameTables.com, which is the producer at Origins, and I'm going to pick up a copy because, yeah, it's super good. They also just announced a couple like different versions of it, like one for Paris. There already is one for Europe that I haven't played. But yeah, lots of fun. Highly recommend. That's On Tour. This is also a good welcoming game. I would play this with literally anybody. Number 32 was 23 last year, and this is Tiny Towns. Tiny Towns is a game where the main mechanism is kind of bingo, but so you choose one of the resources. You might say, I'll take stone. Everyone else has to take stone and put it on their board. You're then trying to build these buildings. This is one of the tightest, most cutthroat games of, not even cutthroat, it's just you make these plans and they just go to hell every time. You cannot do well in this game, and you always feel like everything is going horribly. I really enjoy that. That might make me psychotic, but a lot of people don't. I think this is a fantastic game. Also plays well with 6 and plays in under an hour with 6. Plays well with 5 and 4 too. So yeah, Tiny Towns, highly recommend if you want a stressful game. And some people do, like me. And lastly, number 31 is new to the list. This is the only deck builder this round. This is called Living Forest. My friend Melissa introduced this to me a couple months ago, and I have played the heck out of it on Board Game Arena since then. I am one of the top ranked in the world right now for the season or whatever, because I just play it all the time because it is a great game. This is a deck builder with Push Your Luck. And it has these numbers on the side of the card that tell you what you can do. You just build a tableau full of those numbers each time until you either bust or you choose to stop going. Then you can build trees, you can buy new cards, you can do all sorts of different things. There's 3 ways to win the game, and so there's a lot of tension there between, well, what is that person going for? Oh, I should do this so that they can't do that. There's a board you move around. A lot of moving parts. I feel like it's going to be a hard game to teach, but I love to play it. So that is number 31, Living Forest. Okay, into the top 30. And I'm hoping for the top 10 to maybe do them live so I can talk to everybody about it. So let me know if you want to see that and when I should do that. Probably on Saturday sometime. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed and have a good one. Bye.